Around 9 months ago, this YouTuber uploaded a video called "Stop Calling Me Hans Niemann, It Has Gone Too Far." I think from the thumbnail alone, it's pretty obvious that he is Hans Niemann. So I decided to challenge him to a game of rapid chess to find out the real difference between 1900 and 2300 ELO. We'll only cover the first rapid game on my channel, but if you'd like to see the other game, all the links to Crash's socials are in the description below. Throughout the video, you'll get to hear the calculations and thought process of both players. However, neither player can hear each other whilst the games are underway. Before we do get into today's video though, Jacksark needs to pay his bills and plug his coaching. If you're feeling like you've been stuck at any chess rating recently, I have plenty of coaching options on my brand new website for you to choose from. You guys can now see testimonials from my current students alongside all the necessary information to get started. New students can also get 25% off their first lesson using code FIRST, or you can get the 5-lesson package, which will get you your 5th lesson completely free. But enough of that, let's get right into today's game. Okay, so we're playing Crash in this episode of The Difference. We just played a game on his channel. A little bit of a spoiler. Actually, I'm gonna cover up that. I'm gonna get my editor to cover up the score that we have right now. It actually just spoils what the result was. So Crash has played 1e4. We've been learning the cont Sicilian recently, so I'm tempted to give that a try and go for c5 here.
Completely unknown. I can actually win this game. I think. Does he know the Mengarini Sicilian? The question is, do I know the Mengarini Sicilian? And that's a no. That's a big, big no. So I think here I'm just going to go for an open Sicilian.
Okay, we get the Smith-Morra Gambit. I think in any line of the Smith-Morra, you have to initially take. What you do beyond this point depends on kind of what line you want to go down, but I really like taking here. And I've actually studied this recently because I'm studying all of the Sicilian, and the Smith-Morra Gambit is one of the parts that I have been studying. He takes with the queen. I don't know too much theory to this, but I'm pretty sure you just bring out the knights. You might notice that I didn't really explain anything about the opening I played in this video. I don't really tell you guys why I play certain moves or what they do in general. One of my most recent uploads is a video on building your own repertoire and how to memorize all of the moves. So if you guys would like to understand your opening some more, feel free to check out that video. Basically, I use a combination of the Lichess study and the sponsor of today's video, ChessMind.AI. If you're not keen on making a custom repertoire from scratch, ChessMind has a variety of over 50 detailed courses crafted by Chilean Grandmaster Maurizio Flores that you can add to your repertoire. However, if you're feeling more creative, you can also create a custom course on the website by inserting a Lichess study PGN. From there, you can practice all the moves in your own repertoire like you would on any course. ChessMind is so ridiculously good value for money as well. It's just $5 per month to get access to every feature on the website, and if you use the link in the description, you can get 30% off any purchase as well. I'll leave a link to their Discord in the description as well, because the founder of the website is incredibly hands-on, and you can literally just request a feature be added to the website, and there's a good chance it'll happen. If you guys want to find out more about ChessMind, feel free to take a look at the in-depth videos I've left in the description on the website. But enough yapping, let's get back into the game.
In the previous game, you guys have to check it out. It was a brilliant game by me. I played 2 brilliant moves against Jack.
Kind of going into it blind. I don't love the idea of maybe playing something like e5, just because it leaves this pawn very, very backwards. Maybe we play e6, maybe we play g6, or maybe, yeah, okay. I'm thinking of kind of transforming this into just like an accelerated dragon kind of position with g6 and fianchettoing the bishop on the long diagonal.
Okay, let's go knight to... Let's not go knight to anywhere. Let's go knight to f3, actually.
Okay, he plays knight f3. The reason that I wanted to make this into an accelerated dragon is because it's a little bit difficult to contest for the center. E5 just kind of leaves this pawn back here. I don't love playing with these kind of structures. Obviously, we can't play d5, but eventually we will play something like d6. Right now, we can play bishop g7 to prevent the move e5. So let's do that whilst developing our bishop.
Maybe just c3. Why not? Why can't I play c3 here?
Okay, he plays c3. I guess the idea is he just wants to move his bishop without blundering this pawn. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so you've got 2 kind of options here. e6 to bring the bishop in, or bring the knight in this way, or you can just play d6 to bring the knight in this way whilst also preventing e5. So I think I'm going to go for an accelerated dragon type of setup and play d6 here.
Okay, yeah, bishop e5 gives me free development, and I'm not convinced that this bishop's going to be very important for the rest of this game. Bishop d7 now, bishop takes, weakens this pawn.
I think just playing bishop d7 is going to be okay here. This is where the bishop wants to go anyway, and if he takes, this is actually going to be a very good bishop, so I like this move a lot. Let's play bishop d7.
And then I can just take with the knight. Bishop e3... Bishop e3 looks good, I think. I also like queen here. Nah, bishop e3. Bishop e3 looks solid.
Okay, he plays bishop e3, just developing another piece. Maybe castling would have been more accurate there. I guess just knight f6, right? Knight f6, there's no pressure from that move. Bishop e3, let's go and attack the pawn and get ready to castle.
Queen c2 looks good as well now. And the idea is fairly straightforward with queen c2. It's defending this.
Okay, he's moved his queen to defend this pawn. We could just castle. I don't see a reason not to just castle. There's not really... I mean, maybe we can play knight g4. Knight g4 is tempting, but I think just castling here is a move we want to play anyway. Yeah, let's just castle. Safe and easy.
Isn't optimal for him. I need to lock in. I need to lock in so badly here. I think knight d2 looks good. Yeah, let's play knight d2.
Okay, he brings the knight out. The negative of having the pawn on c3 is the knight can't go there anymore. So, yeah, this knight's going to be a little bit awkward all game. I think my next plan... Rook c8, there's takes, and bishop here. But maybe then I have c5 trying to trap the bishop. If they play something like b4, I immediately have queen c7, and that bishop's trapped. So I actually do like this move. Rook c8 comes with a trap, but is also a good move.
For a trade this way, I would be happily taking that trade. He might play something like here now. Should be a pretty good move. Pretty solid move, actually, if you ask me. Okay, he's kind of forcing my hand here. I have to play a bit smarter. Obviously, his idea is this to attack the queen, and I don't have time to capture. So instead, let's just move the queen to here. Maybe to here now, yeah. Looks good. Looks good to me. And okay, that looks pretty solid. Yeah, that looks good. So, oh, that's bad. That's really bad. Okay. Let's bring this back. Oh, yeah, because if here takes... I'll do the calculations out loud. So if I go here, knight can jump to here. No, wait. If I go here, just hate a6. a6, knight goes... Or bishop takes. Where do I go? I'm just at a worse position for sure. Queen a3 looks okay then. Yeah, let's concede that that was a bad move. Yeah. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, we can still win this pawn though. That was a bad. That's a bad move. Let's not play it. I think my queen is just in terrible positions, so we're gonna have to improve that a little bit. If he moves his knight now, bishop takes, knight takes. Bishop takes is an option, but then b6 is good because then it blocks in my bishop, and I'm completely losing.
So Crash played queen d1. I don't know what that does. I actually have no idea what that does. Queen d1? What is the thought process? I don't know at all. I just have no idea. That's just a bad move, I think. I think that's just the best way to put it, is it's a bad move. Should we play a6? Takes, we've got a new target. I don't mind this. A6, let's say b4, b5 here. This seems like a decent kind of idea as well. Maybe, I'm trying to think of the best, just absolute best, most concrete way of continuing here. And I don't really see, there's also knight g4. This is an idea. Just going after this bishop. I do like knight g4 now because it's actually very difficult for them to... Yeah, they might have... Oh, we could lead them into this trap with knight g4. takes. Oh no, then we would take here actually. Yeah, I think knight g4 is the best move. Knight g4, there's none of this. Knight g4, if they play this, then we go e4, or e5, sorry, and this bishop is kind of getting trapped here. You know, bishop here, pawn takes, bishop takes, and then we get this c5 again. I think knight g4 is a really, really good move in this position, maybe even a winning move in this position.
I think he's starting to see the threat of my bishop. I think I'll just castle though. If I just castle, knight takes, pawn takes, I'll have doubled e pawns and an open f file, or semi-open f file. I think it's pretty good, if you ask me. Yeah, let's go for it. I mean, again, I could also play this. Challenging his bishop. Bishop takes. Also take. Castle.
Okay, so he's castled, allowing us to snap up this dark square bishop, have an unopposed dark square bishop ourselves, and give him some doubled pawns. I think we just absolutely have to snap up this opportunity and take the dark square bishop.
Yeah, he's gonna take, and I go here.
Okay, so now the fun starts because we have a lot more potential with this kind of pawn structure. So now we can even go for something like knight e5. Just kind of taking advantage of the position. The bishops see each other. Let's say takes, or we could take. Yeah, and then these pawns are gonna be weak somehow. 100% these pawns are just... The right pieces are not on the board to kind of harmoniously defend these pieces whilst causing problems for black as well. Even though it does open up the rook, I mean, what is this rook doing? You know, I've got a very stable structure. There's no weaknesses here. The question is, okay, is it knight e5? Is it a6, or is it something else? I don't think it's something else. There is maybe... Oh, there's queen b6. Ooh, okay, queen b6. Queen b6 if you take here, and this is, you know, what's wrong with not having a dark square bishop in the position. Queen b6 looks very good. There is this to defend, but then I go takes, and yeah, it doesn't really work. Okay, so queen b6, and we are going to win a pawn in this sequence.
That's a good move. Queen e2 is, I think, the only way to defend both this pawn and the bishop. So let's go for it. Defending both threats. I think he's better here, if I'm being honest.
Okay, I didn't see queen e2 actually. That is a good defense. Now he's defending both. That is something. Okay, if we play something like knight e5, this is not going to help us. Just takes, takes. So maybe a6 is the move now. Takes, takes, and we're piling up some pressure here. What else do we have? We also maybe have bishop h6. Bishop h6, now there maybe is knight here. But then we have takes. No, then he'll take like this. No, but then this actually is getting quite complicated. Bishop h6 and knight d4. Because if bishop h6 and he takes, I'm just going to take with check. Bishop h6, let's say knight d4, he needs to kind of cut off someone's sight of the e3 pawn. But then I can take like this. Tempo on the queen, he has to do something about it. If I do this... Oh, then I just take for free. Okay, so I think bishop h6 is working, and I am winning a pawn. Unless there's some other crazy defense that he's found. Oh my god, no, that's not a thing, we just take. Bishop h6, is there anything? I don't see anything. I think bishop h6 is just kind of the way to exploit this weakened structure. We need to speed up as well, so let's just put bishop h6 on the board.
He plays it. He plays it. But I have this now, which is, I think, pretty good. I also have this. No. He does play it. Ugh, okay. I have rook to e1, maybe. Rook to f1. Rook f to e1 maybe is a bit better. Then again, I kind of like this. Ah, okay. His real idea is to take... Okay, that was a good move. I have this, though. Attacks both of these. Blunders the bishop. His real idea is to go here. Bishop takes, rook, queen takes. Here takes. And he's up a pawn. And then maybe knight here is my only bet. Queen can go back here, and then he's up a pawn. Don't really like that, to be honest. I would love to play this. Damn, that's annoying. Whew, okay, I think let's just play. Maybe knight here is good as well. Knight here is not good. Maybe let's just take first.
Okay, so he takes my bishop. Do I want to trade the queens first? That is an important thing to ask myself. If I trade the queens here, check, king back, and what move are we going to play? I don't like bishop takes because we're not actually ever threatening to win this pawn, so maybe just rook takes. I think it's easier to win without queens. And I think if we're being educational, I think it's easier. It's easier. You know, we might not get the chance to trade queens later on in the game. We are going to be up a pawn. So let's just trade queens here. We get everything with check. And then we'll pick up the bishop on c6. And we're going to convert this game up a pawn. That is the only advantage that we're going to have. And hopefully I'm going to explain to you guys how you can do it. So I think the first thing that I'm noticing is I don't have to take with either of these pieces. I can also take with a pawn. Opens up the file to a potential weakness. The good part about a weakness being on b7 is if we play something like this, and let's say they play b4, we can always try to undermine it with a5. If they take, this is an easy target. So I really like the move. B takes. Is there anything that we need to worry about with this potentially? Probably not, because that's just going to be a free pawn. Let's play b takes c6.
Oh, what? Okay, he just takes that way, opening up the b file. Very clever, actually. Very clever. But it also allows me to just play this, which looks pretty solid. Pretty good. Wowzers, huh? Okay, let's see. I guess I just got to start harassing him non-consensually.
Okay, so Crash is playing knight c4, trying to get some counterplay here, going after my bishop. I don't think there is anything, you know, if I just come back here, what are we really playing for? Maybe then his idea is to go d5, but then maybe I just have something like bishop e6. So, I mean, I have to move my bishop right now. Bishop h6 seems like the best square for it.
Yeah, I was edging at the start of the board. I mean, not in real life, but like at the start of the game, I was.
Okay, he plays rook d1. I mean, I would love to get like bishop b5 in, but this is hope chess. They're not going to allow me to have this move. Actually, if c5, he has to address the issue, I suppose. Like he can't play something like this. Maybe we just play bishop f5 and trade the pieces. Maybe it's as simple as that. You know what? I think it might be even. I think it might just be as simple as that. Although I would like to get rid of this knight more than this knight. This knight is more active in where we want to be playing. So I am going to go here. We're also skewering these two pieces.
My pieces. What a scumbag. What a scumbag. Okay, I got this. I might swerve in a corner, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I always have that. It's not bad, I guess.
Okay, so he's played b3, but this just allows us to take, and after he takes, I mean, we could just play c4. Then he does have this e5 move, which is annoying, but I think we need to take here. We need to start trading off. We need to start making some improvements to the game. Let's play bishop takes c4. We have the luxury to do that, by the way, because we do have both bishops, the bishop pair. I think a move like c4 or c5 might be flawed because of something like e5. So maybe first we just drop back with the bishop g7.
For sure. Okay, yeah, he goes for it. Ugh. Now I'm thinking, do I just play this?
The reason I thought it was better is because now, he actually just doesn't defend his pawn. But I thought now, after, let's say, the pawn is defended like this, now we can play c5 because e5 is no longer possible because it just hangs a pawn. But they have just decided to take the open file. We can just take here. Actually, rook b7. Let's not give them any counterplay. Let's play rook b8 and take the file for ourselves.
I think I have to play this now.
Okay, he's jumping in with the knight. We could trade down. We are up a pawn. If this does occur, he is going to jump in with the knight and threaten to win some things. But I don't need any more pawns. I'm already up a pawn. We can trade this last piece and convert this endgame. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I think the most important thing is getting the king active. We don't want to take here. I think that, playing e6 does seem nice. I think e6 is just a very good move, actually. e6, taking a little bit more central control.
Very good. And now we play rook to b3.
So he plays rook b3. I'm going to take this, actually, because he's left himself with a backwards pawn that we are now going to target. And now I can just maybe blockade this this pawn with rook b4 and prevent it from moving forward anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's starting to bring his king in. I'm going to play a5, I think. a5, he's going to go here, 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 and then I play b4. If he plays c5, yeah, I think this is just all a winning endgame. There's too many weaknesses. Let's go with a5 and start rolling the pawn up. The pawn will be pinned.
Question is, do I have this? Here takes, rook there, pawn there, rook takes, pawn takes, here takes. I'm lost. So I think maybe I should just push this first.
But this should just be a very, very winnable endgame. So he's trying to make it a little bit messy. I think if I take, he's going to take like this. I don't mind any of this, though. I think just taking with the e-pawn is going to be best.
I would, if there wasn't an f-pawn, I would push this. I would push that. Yeah, I think maybe I should just take this way, though, and keep the... No, I'll take this way. This makes more sense.
And he takes like that. So now I want to play a4. He cannot take because the rook will be hanging on the other side. And I think we'll just... we can take either way. So he's... this is a... Okay, it's a decent idea going for this, but he has to watch out for the promotion square also. So let's take this pawn. He's going to be glued to this square now. I think my best plan of action is going to be bringing my king in. Maybe I throw in f5 first, but bringing my king in, and the kings will race over here, and I'm just going to have 2 extra pawns in any endgame. So let's play f5 and start bringing the king in this way. He brings his king in. I'll bring mine further. He can't get on this rank. He has to be very careful. I think we'll just go king e5. His king is currently shielding mine a little bit. He goes and attacks my rook, so I have to be a little bit careful. Let's go down to b7. He can start throwing in checks if you want, but I'm just going to grab this pawn and hide behind it.
What do I have?
Okay,
you can just go there.
This is a decent move. I'm going to continue to push this pawn there. If he checks me, I'm going to run up the board this time. And he needs to come back down. And with this, I'm going to start attacking some of his pawns up here. So let's push the pawn to b2 and allow him to check over here. Okay, so he doesn't want me to be able to do this, but I'm just going to get a head start on all of this and go to e4. So when he does check me, I'm going to run up to f3.
Oh, what? Okay. He has no squares. If I give him a check, he's only got one square then. He's got to go here.
Okay, he goes back to blockade the pawn. Now we can just play something like king g2. This king is just cut off from absolutely everything. Let's take a pawn. Let's take another pawn. Why not? He's going to check me, but I can just... which is the best way to do it? I think going up to h2 and forcing this rook to come back, and then we can start pushing some pawns of our own on the other side of the board. Let's go with this check. This is going to go all the way to the end. This pawn is unstoppable as well. Not only this one, but this one will promote as well. And there's nothing that white can do about it. Let's play g2. Make sure there's no stalemate. This king always has this f4 square to go on. We can check here, actually, draw the rook away, and then we can make another queen, and he has to sacrifice his rook. So we can make a queen here. We can make a queen here, sacrificing 2 queens. This is clever. I don't think this is going to be stalemate ever. King h1 is probably the best way to do it, actually. There are no more checks, and you always have the f3 square to go to. So king h1, no checks this way. And is there an easy mate in 2 here? Let me try and find it. If we go check, he has here, and we have check. If check, he has here, and we have check again, and both of those should be made into. So let's go rook b2 check, and we'll follow with queen e4 checkmate. Good game. Okay, so we can go through step by step. So we got e4 and c5. Sicilian video coming soon. I am still working on it for everyone watching this video whenever it comes out. This video will probably come out before the Sicilian video does, ironically. But we have d4, the Smith-Morra, c takes, and queen takes. So queen takes, I've studied up until knight c6, because I feel like there's not really any tricks when you take with the queen. This is kind of like a reverse Scandinavian in a way. The more tricky kind of line is gambiting the second pawn, right, and going for this. And now the engine thinks that black is a little bit better, but white has tricks, white is ahead on development, and black has to defend. So after knight c6 and queen d1, I'm kind of just on my own again. I say to my viewers that I kind of just want to switch this up into an accelerated dragon, which I learned around 11 months ago, which I was a lot more comfortable in. So we have g6, knight f3, bishop g7, all basic stuff. c3. Was c3 just to stop my bishop from seeing b2?
Yes.
Okay, I did think that. So I think c3 is, yeah, you want knight c3. I mean, this looks super unintuitive, but the reason you want knight c3 is because the engine actually is very forgiving here. But if black ever trades off the dragon bishop, this is going to be so great for white, even if it comes at the expense of 2 pawns, because the dragon bishop is just so powerful in these openings. It's the same with like the Catalan bishop and probably the King's Indian bishop. You can just play that, and c3 you kind of it happened in the game where the knight was just displaced on d2. It kind of just got in the way of everything, right? So maybe you would have rather it be on c4. You also had, I mean, this is also an option, kind of like a Maroczy bind structure, and then putting the knight on c3. Just so
I was
thinking
something like that, but I don't know. That bishop is just so scary.
Yeah.
You know? Big dragon. Dragging these yeah, dragging these nuts. Yeah, great bishop. I messed up with the c3 thing, but in my head it made sense. Yeah. I guess I didn't really value.
It's a super intuitive move, especially if you're not familiar with like just theory for against the accelerated dragon. C3 makes a lot of sense. You would play this in any opening as black, right? If white fianchettoed carried a bishop, you would immediately play c6, so the bishop can't see b7. So it makes a lot of sense. I played d6. I've actually been telling my students to always play d6 in these kind of positions, just because you want to avoid e5. Apparently it's not quite right here. f6 here, and you get knight g4, which is another
same
kind
as
of
English opening almost, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit
similar.
But you don't want e5, so I kind of just go for d6 here, which is not a bad move, but it's not like the best move.
I actually thought you would play d6 because it actually made so much sense in my head. So
yeah, it's just a nice structure. Because I mean, all the way back here, I was considering you can even play like e5 here, but the problem is you've got this backwards pawn, and I was trying to kind of figure out a setup that I would like that didn't leave me with this backwards pawn, and this setup doesn't, where you play d6 and there's no backwards pawns in the position. Even though you have a little bit less central control, you just don't play with the backwards pawn, which I'm super uncomfortable with. So that's why I went with d6. Bishop b5 I thought was just a regular move, like a good move. Bishop d7, and then bishop e3. I was considering, not here, I played knight f6 first. First of all, queen c2. What was the idea with queen c2?
Defend the e4 pawn, but it didn't really. I realized after the next move that it doesn't defend anything.
Well, not the next move. It's the next move is castles, which I just thought was a natural move. I also was considering knight g5 here. I thought that this was something, because I know in a lot of these kind of positions you want to go after this bishop and go chase it. But I guess like bishop f4 and there's just nothing, right? If you go here, there's like bishop g5. You just have to, you're committing too much at this point, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't think that it was right now, and I was like, okay, I want to castle anyway. Let's just castle. Then you played knight bd2, which this is such an intuitive move. The only reason it's just like thematically for the opening, I don't think it works because the knight gets a little bit stuck, and it does allow. Oh, I missed the move here. You're supposed to play knight g4 here. It kind of boxes the bishop in, right? So the bishop maybe wants to drop back. And then again, if you go here, queen b6 is going to be a really nasty move. Which
that's what I saw. I saw that when I played it. Pretty bad for me. So that's why I thought maybe I'll just let you trade and I'll play castles. I think is what I played next, if I'm not mistaken.
Castles, I play rook c8. I was actually going for a trap here. Were you considering bishop takes c6 at all here to try and get the free pawn?
No, because I actually calculated that trap. Because if I took that pawn b6 and then I lose the bishop.
Yeah, I think it loses the bishop right here. c5. No. Yeah, this is -2.
C5. Or I was thinking that you would take with the bishop at first instead of the pawn on c6.
Oh right. Oh, and go like b6 here. B6. Yeah, this would also trap it. Yeah, I think.
Because if you took with the bishop on c6, you would attack e4 twice as well, which would be beneficial, I guess.
Yeah, that is. Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, that is true. Yeah, I think both are decent ways to try and trap the piece. But yeah, that was my idea with rook c8. Oh yeah, queen d1 was the only move of your game that I just couldn't explain. What was the idea of queen d1?
Because I thought you were gonna play a knight to b4, which would lose me.
Oh, okay. Wait, does it lose?
I shouldn't have played it then. I didn't see it.
Oh my god, I did not see that. I spent like a good half a minute thinking about what that does. But I mean, if you castle
I'm here with the dog. Sorry, I gotta give him attention. He didn't me here. My bad. You'll see this on camera.
I'm farming engagement with the comments. They're all gonna say it's such a cute dog.
Yeah, well, I'll show you the dog. I'll show the people the dog. He's a good guy, good lad.
Amazing.
Dog.
Yeah, so I didn't see Romanian. Knight before. Oh, he's Romanian. Oh, I didn't speak Romanian.
He speaks Romanian. I'm not Romanian. He is. He's a weird setup here.
So yeah, I didn't see knight b4 at all. So yeah, I guess queen d1 makes sense then. But then knight g4 made a lot of sense to me. The bishop is just, it can't do anything. If you go here, I mean, I can just take, and this is also hanging, and I'm threatening this with check. Like, there's just too much going on.
Yeah, that knight b4 was the one move that I thought if I allowed that, I may as well resign.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But here, castles, knight takes, pawn takes. if I didn't, I was actually pretty close to not finding queen b6. So I was thinking, okay, a6 is a move. Apparently a6 is very good as well. I was thinking a6, and I was also thinking knight e5 might be a decent move. Knight e5, I think just the engine likes all moves because this structure is permanent. These two isolated pawns, isolated double pawns, I should say. So the engine likes the position regardless of what you play, but I thought queen b6 was a really clean way to do it.
It was definitely better, yeah. I sort of thought about you playing knight e5 and I would just take on d7, and that would simplify it a little too much, I think.
Yeah, I completely missed this. I actually said to my viewers, like with full chess, that this just is a fork and there's nothing you can do about it. Didn't see queen e2. Felt a little bit dumb. So
happens to me all the time, man.
If I didn't have bishop h6, which kind of proved my move, I would have felt a lot more dumb. Because there were some cool lines with this. So you can't play knight d4 because this comes with tempo on the queen, yeah. Which I thought was very nice. And I also thought there were some other moves. Oh, let me try and think about what they were. So I calculated this and I was like, okay, you can take either way. I thought that trading queens, I just thought that trading queens was more instructive for people watching, that, you know, showing them how to convert these kind of positions when you're only up the single pawn is quite instructive. So I was like, okay, you could probably take with both, and you can take with both, but I thought the queen might be a little bit better. I think I was seeing ghosts with a lot of my calculations here, actually, because it's very black and white when you look at it with an engine. It's just like white really doesn't have.
What was the best move for me here? I don't even know. I was trying to figure it out.
Apparently rook fe1.
I thought about that, but sure, you can still take.
Takes, yeah, I thought this, so yeah, queen takes and then you take on b5.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So you would just be up a pawn anyway. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
so
but at least this way you keep the queens on the board, I guess.
Yeah, so well, I guess I would have had like maybe queen h6 then maybe or something, and then knight g5 would have been an idea.
Queen h6, I probably have f6, but yeah, you're right. You are kind of like making inroads, I guess, and then making me make weird moves that maybe you can punish later on.
I should have played it. Damn it! I just saw. I didn't see this position.
Yeah, I always knew that you could kind of get rid of this. I thought were there any other moves? I mean, I looked at this briefly, but this just drops a drops a bishop. Is there any other way you can defend? Not really, right? Because I
actually thought maybe I could defend with. Oh no, sorry, you already went over that with with bishop takes and then knight to. Bishop takes the knight. I was hoping maybe you would take with the bishop. Bishop takes c6, sorry. But then I would play like knight to d4 and block in your queen. But actually that doesn't work at all.
Does this work? This looks like it works actually. Oh, I guess it's just the same thing, right?
Yeah. Same idea. Oh yeah. You can just take the bishop. Yeah.
Yeah, taking the bishop. Yeah. Okay. So it's just
and then I have to worry about b2. b2 would be hanging, so it's the exact same position except now queens are off the board. Well, not the exact same, but like
I thought this was really instructive, this move though of b takes. I mean the engine is gonna say that they're all equal, but I feel like this makes a lot more sense to go and attack the weakness, because if you just take with, let's say, the bishop, first of all, you're not winning that pawn ever. There's just no way. And rook takes, you need to kind of, once you've recaptured, then you need to build a plan around the recapture. And the plan is probably b5, a5, and start moving the pawns up. But I thought that taking with the b pawn just gave you an immediate plan. Gave you an immediate plan as black here. And that's to kind of go after this pawn. If you play something like this, you know, suddenly I play c5, maybe a5. I thought this was a really, really instructive move. And kind of allowed me to play the endgame with... you know, such dominance where you really didn't have many ways of kind of getting back into it. Yeah, I think the best place for this bishop is just to go back to h6. Rook here, I could see, was the idea just to go like e5 and try to break apart the structure?
Yeah, which wouldn't have worked really because of just d5.
Yeah, I thought...
But bishop, what did I think? I saw during my calculations, quote unquote, you always had bishop g6, which would have been just the nail in the coffin for any sort of development I would be going for.
Yeah, I was kind of debating. I mean, another reason that this is just so difficult to win for white is because I've got the bishop pair. And I was spoiled for choice on how to get rid of one of these knights, and I decided that when you're playing, when you're trading off, and this is kind of maybe a more advanced tip that like maybe even you can learn from. When you're in a winning position and you're converting and you've got the choice to trade down, usually you want to trade down the piece that is on the side of the board that you want to be playing on. So I could have very easily pinned this knight to the rook. I'm pretty sure that's what most people watching this video would have played, because there is a more valuable piece behind it, and your eyes are drawn to it. But really, this knight is so annoying defending this pawn, and I can't do anything on this side of the board, which is where I want to be playing, unless I get rid of that knight. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. If you move, I win the pawn behind it. Maybe not, actually. Maybe you can even play this, and I can't play this because of this. No, but then rook b8, and I'm kind of getting away, and you can't play this. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of, I thought that was super instructive as well.
You'd be hanging a7 though. I wouldn't play b3 in that position. I'd play rook a1.
In which position? Sorry.
So go back to the line you were just showing, where. So
here.
Then it was.
Oh, you would play here.
Yeah, I'd play rook to a1, and now you're hanging a7, and subsequently f7 or e7 as well.
That is true. Maybe I wouldn't take here. Maybe I would just continue with like rook b8, b3, and then I would start with like a5 or something. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. But yeah, I thought that getting rid of this knight was a lot better. After b3, I could take. I could bring this bishop back. I thought that c5 maybe was a mistake because of e4 or e5. But in this kind of line, I thought, okay, I'm defending this. If you go here, now you can't go here because I'm defending the square. I thought that was important as well.
Yeah, I said in my view, once you had played that, I just played rook b1 immediately, just because I said, okay, you can have the pawn. I'll get access to the 7th rank. It's like my only shot at winning the game.
Yeah, I was almost gonna take that pawn until I realized it was a fork. I always forget in these Sicilian dragon positions that the e7 pawn is always very weak, especially in endgames. So you are forking two of the pawns here, but yeah, rook b8 kind of just, there's no counterplay anymore. Knight d4. I was considering, playing a move like c5, but I thought, I'm up a pawn. I should be able to convert this kind of endgame. E6 apparently wrong because of g4. King g1, I don't really see why.
Who's gonna see that, bro? You ain't seen that from me, I tell ya.
Yeah, I thought that this I could play like f4 now. Apparently e5 now is good, but like takes. I thought here, and this position must be really good for me. I can play like king here, just walk up the board. I thought that there were just a million ways to win, basically. But simplifying the position, taking here, looking at the backwards pawn, and this was kind of, at this level, it should be like walk in the park and do this kind of thing in your sleep. You did give me some kind of annoying problems, like you were finding every way to like delay my win.
Yeah, there was a very tricky series of moves here somewhere, I think, at the very end. But you found it. Like I said, there's no way I'm going to stalemate this guy. Maybe I can checkmate him.
Yeah, I was like, I think at the very end here, I was like, when I had the queen on the board, I was like, okay, he can't. For a second, I thought that this was a draw where like you could sacrifice your piece and like, but you always have this square and this square, I guess.
If the queen was on D, if the queen was like in a way, what a stupid thing to say. If I could stalemate, I would stalemate. Basically.
Yeah. Well, if my queen was, I mean, we can
D3.
like waste.
How do I waste? D3, then that would be stalemate. So
yeah, E3, you'd be able to sacrifice. I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, you wouldn't be able to.
Queen D. If your queen was on D3, I would be able to sacrifice the rook on H2.
Oh yeah, you would be able to actually. Yeah. Okay, there you go. I thought if E3, I would actually. Oh no, E3 is the same thing. Yeah. So there was a couple of stalemate opportunities there, but yeah, I was very sure of it, and then I calculated the checkmate, so we got a nice little conversion there. But yeah, really nice game. I think the opening was super instructive, and the conversion of the end game I thought was a lot to be learned from. Yeah, really good game. I'll leave all the links to Crash's channel in the description of this video. He will also be playing a game. We'll be also be playing a game on his channel if you guys want to go check that out. But yeah, really good game, Crash.
You guys need to check that out. That's good. That's
exactly.
A game that's gonna blow your mind.
Exactly. All right. Well, yeah, really good game, Crash, and hopefully we'll record some more videos in the future.
Absolutely, man.
Amazing. Right. Thanks for coming.
Have a good one. Bye bye.
Ciao.